Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday call, our live that we like to do. And we are live with myself, Charles, with Until You Win, and my
And
co-host.
we got to script that someday. And I'm Leanne, the Chief Joy Officer of Joyminder Consulting. And I look shorter than you today, Charles.
You do. Why is that? What have you been doing?
I just moved my camera. So I went to in-person networking recently and met up with somebody that I see every week in my BNI meetings. And I was like, dude, you're really tall. And
That's cool.
and it's actually that I'm kind of actually quite short. But on Zoom, generally, we all put our cameras at about the same height, and we all look about the same height.
Very true.
I have no idea how tall you are, Charles.
I'm 5'11", so I'm not too tall, not too short.
Yeah.
But I did learn about that the camera should be above your eye level and pointing down at you.
Yep. Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Because if you do it the other way, it looks horrible.
Right.
So it's all good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Nowsite and what's going on. And I know somebody is catching an airplane here pretty soon.
So the last time I was on a plane was in February of 2020, coming back from Houston.
And where are you heading this time?
And this time, this Friday, I will be on a plane heading to Houston.
Wow.
And I was coming back from a convention. 3 days later, I was horribly sick.
So when was that time?
That was February of 2020.
Whoa, okay. So you probably didn't even know you had COVID at that time?
Bingo. So I came home and I had the worst flu I'd ever had. And I don't get flu much, but it was so bad. I literally told my husband, you cannot bury your door. You can't come in. You don't want this. Whatever this is, it's nasty. And we had no idea at the time that COVID was out in the world. But I'd just been at a convention with thousands of people, with hotels and airplanes and public transportation, and hadn't a clue. But at a port city. So,
wow. Well, yeah. I know that March of last year, I had surgery right before the lockdown started.
Yeah.
And then I was put off work at that time, and I haven't been back since. Now I work from home. So
and here
all good. But I literally squeaked in before COVID blew up. So
yeah, what a crazy ride this has been. I am very excited to get back in person. I've been in Nowsite now for 50 weeks, give or take.
Okay.
And it means I've worked with Justin and Cheryl and other people, and I'm in Now Club, and I've seen all these people face to face for a long time, but never person to person. And there's not one person I know that I've met in person that will be at this event.
Very cool. And who is that?
Nobody. No, I literally, there's nobody.
Not one person. I'm
not
sorry.
One.
Yeah.
So
I know, had I not had something booked already when I found out the dates, I definitely would be there. I will be there virtually. My event starts at 3:30 California time, and the event supposed to end at 5 Central, which is 3 my time. So I'm going to be doing a lot of everything on the iPad with my headset on and kind of listening and moving around. And while there's people that aren't doing something up on the screen, then I will be very busy. So anyway,
I'm inspired. I'm inspired to be there.
Yes, I would have. That was a hint, everybody, of something that is named Inspire. But we have no idea exactly what it's called.
Actually, now I wonder if that's quite right. I don't think it's right.
It was something like that. There was something that was going on that was being said that was kind of crazy, that Cheryl and Justin were dropping a lot of hints. Dustin is very clear that even though he is the last person to speak, that
because he didn't have any choice in that.
No, I think he did, but I think he wanted to end with like the biggest event possible.
Yeah.
So I really do believe that whatever he has to say is going to blow us away. He says it's something we're going to use on a daily basis.
Yeah. Insight.
So it's insight, but what is it? Is it insight? Like, is it being able to see what our people are opening, how our email is going?
That's what I suspect. So basically, the thing that we voted for in March, that we said we wanted to see, which we called Now What, kind of at that point, I think. I think that's what it kind of is. And I do believe they're going to call it Insight. That might be the name of the tool. Possible. Not Inspire, Insight. And yeah, I think my guess, because we can only guess here, but this is being recorded so we can check our guess later.
That would be awesome.
My guess is kind of, I think, yours. We're going to get insights to who's seeing it, who's opening things, if they're watching videos, how far they get. And also,
so that brings up a whole nother thing, is if we could begin uploading videos to the platform instead of linking Vimeo or YouTube, then we could, I mean, that would be incredible to be able to have somebody be able to watch that video and us know, oh, hey, they only watched 1 minute. So when we talk to them on the phone, we can play dumb. Hey, how did you like the video? Or, hey, I noticed you only watched 1 minute. You hardly got into it. What stopped you? So.
Yeah. By the way, if there's anybody here watching who is using Nowsite, make sure you get your virtual ticket. It's $25, and then you get lifelong hosting of a URL. Hello. 25.
And that is incredible. Justin also did drop a hint that anything over $5 for the URL is, we're going to have to burden the rest of that. So if you go out and find one that's there are these $25, $30 names. There's even $1,500 names that Nowsite's going to ante up $5, and you got to ante up the rest.
Yeah,
which is perfectly acceptable. And my guess is, because they're a larger company, they might be getting a little bit of a wholesale rate on what they're doing, so it could be pretty good for all of us.
But I also want to add, if there's anybody watching this that isn't yet a Nowsite customer, your ticket can be free.
Exactly. Yes.
So just reach out to us and say, hey, I want a free ticket. And we'll get you a free ticket in person or virtual. If you're in the Houston area, or you can get to the Houston area and you want to show up and meet me live, you can. Come on down, and we'll get you in for free.
Yes,
so
that is awesome.
The in-person is all of a $40 ticket. Like, let me tell you what, the convention that I went to last time.
How much was the convention you went to last time?
A pile more.
Okay, so none of us really know what convention you went to or anything like that. Give us a ballpark.
It was a network marketing convention, and I'm sure it was hundreds of dollars for sure.
Okay, so
but it was also a multi-day event.
Okay,
and then I spent a pile in the store.
Right. But I'm saying ticket wise. That's all I really am interested in. Like do you remember what your ticket cost?
Probably $197 if I got it in advance, which I probably would have done. It could have been $297, $397. Last minute, I'm sure people were paying more.
Right. I'm in another network marketing company because I reached one of their first levels. I got a $99 ticket for my first time when it's normally $167 per person. Okay. It is a multi-day event, and that doesn't include the gala dinner, which is another $57 per person.
That's not bad, actually.
It's not bad. It's actually very reasonable because COVID hit. We didn't get to go last year, and then this year COVID still affected it, so it was still virtual. So my wife and my tickets are rolling over to next year, and so we will go and attend. But let me tell you, my years ago, again, I'm a little bit older than everybody. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people I know. And I was in the Big A. We were spending $250 for a weekend event, not including getting there, the hotel, the food.
Yeah.
And you had to make sure you wore a shirt and tie, if not a jacket with it. And I mean, it was really kind of a crazy amount of money that we spent to attend events. So even at a $40, so those of us that are in Now Club, we get a $20 ticket, right? Yeah. Another benefit of getting being part of Now Club when you reach that level that you feel comfortable.
And then I had an airplane credit that covered the majority of my flight down there.
Nice.
So I think my flight cost me an additional like $130. I did no, and then I was able to book at the event hotel, which I'm grateful for because that saves me transportation back and forth. I did because of economics and making. I normally would get my own room, but they did happen to pick one of the most expensive hotels, and I'm like, for 2 nights I can have a roommate. So I have a roommate I have never talked to before, and she doesn't speak English as her first language. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Reality is when you go to an event, you don't ever really spend much time in your room. So, right. Yeah. But being at an expensive place is a little bit more, yeah. Okay, so let's get on to talk about what what our subject for today was, and we're going to talk about tools to keep us organized.
Yeah.
Right. And this actually got started because Leanne's in the process of doing. Oh yeah, you got your calculator for Nerds Talk.
All ready for Nerds Talk. Yeah.
But Leanne, in her infinite wisdom, a couple of weeks ago, holds up this stack. Mm-hmm. This is nowhere close to the stack that she had. Is it within arm reach of sticky notes? Right. I still use sticky notes to this day, but she had a pile of sticky notes that she held up, and she's like, I have got to stop using sticky notes. I know there we go. Just notes upon notes upon notes. And I think for many of us, we get into this habit of we write ourselves notes. I know that I use a lot of times. So we have sticky notes, and I use my Rocket book. This is always sitting beside me with a pen for me to write notes down. And then I transfer those notes to one of a couple of places, depending on what it is. So walk me through when you're on a call, when you're on a Zoom call, when you're talking on the phone with somebody, how do you keep notes for yourself? And then what do you do with those notes, Leanne?
So, sticky notes, right? Usually. But I have started to use a program called Trello. Now, Trello allows me to kind of make sticky notes, but also handle them. It's not fantastic for like a long-term that I've discovered. I could be wrong, but for a long-term like storage of notes about a call, that really belongs in more of a CRM, which we have in Nowsite technically. If I'm talking with somebody and they're in my Nowsite CRM, or if I were using a different CRM, that's the best place to keep calls about notes, in my opinion.
Okay.
But if you're making notes about something you need to do, like, hey, I'm going to introduce these two people, or I'm going to send them a link, or I owe them a phone, we're going to follow up in X amount of time. Those are the kind of things that I find Trello to be really useful for. So I'll show you what I'm using. By the way, I don't know, Charles, of course, we're live here, but is there a way to turn on mirror image with this? I'm just curious. I usually use.
That is a great question. I don't know.
I'm having issues. This is my. it's not mirror image. So I'm like, I keep messing up. I keep moving the wrong direction, showing my notes and all that. It's all good. Who cares?
I know that this is my right and it goes the other way, but as you look at me, it looks normal, right? So that's my right because everything's spelled correctly here.
Yeah. So mirror image doesn't change how the world sees us. It only changes how we see us.
I don't think StreamYard does that.
Okay.
I don't think that's one of its options.
All right. Well, here, can you see this screen now? Over here?
I can see your screen now. And we are adding it to our board.
Awesome. Well, this is Trello.
Our live.
Our live, right. So this is Trello, so you can see my messy world. And I've got in here, I've actually have 2 boards. This is one of them. And this is the other. So Leanne's list is much brighter and much more sparse, but because I'm still adding to it. But the first Trello board that I was using, oops, here we go, was called, well, I just called it website updates because that's primarily what I was using it for. Like, hey, here's what I want to do. And then I was using it to work with my virtual assistant. So my virtual assistant would grab something from the to-do list and drag it over to the doing list and work on that. And then when she was done with it, she would move it to either a review. So I had a first review or a final review, or if she was just done, she could just move it over to the done list if it wasn't something that I had to check. So nice. Go ahead.
So your way is when you're on a call, you're taking notes on a sticky note, and then you're reviewing those after you're done to figure out, do they need to go on a Trello board or do I need to do something else with it?
Yeah, well, now I am, right.
Okay.
I still do kind of use sticky notes, but I'm trying to then put them places where they need to go, or, keep notes more of in a notebook instead of sticky notes, but then pull out the things from the notebook, put them onto a Trello so that they get done. And then for, in her case, then we have a discussion board or ideas that she wants to put in. For my own board, I have it set up a little bit different. I do have this set up. She helps me find any new contacts that I want to put in here.
Okay.
Then I have my board set up from important and urgent to important, not urgent to urgent.
Wait, you're using the 4 squares.
Yep. Yeah. Urgent, not important, and way over here, not urgent ideas.
Right.
But so when I do come up with a cool idea, I'm like, I actually had a business idea today that I could add to. So business idea to share, creating websites for others. And then you create the website for somebody else, and then and then if they join Nowsite, then you can give it to them and then transfer it when they can join Nowsite. So that was just an idea that kind of came up in a conversation, and I like the idea. So I would put together a new web page for that. I would add it to my business ideas page that I have in my website and things like that. And then someday, I'll move this from here. I'll move it to her board on to do. I'll probably never put it in my board to get done because she's really good at creating these pages for me. So, that's just one way that I can do this. And then as I do move with these things, then I move them over. Working on it, I'm done. So I also get the advantage of saying, okay, I'm done with something. That feels good.
Right. So, and then do you archive those done after a certain period of time so that they're off that done list?
Yeah. And then I can, and some of them like send me an email. I have to do that pretty much every week. So I can then move that back over to, it's an important, urgent thing to do on Mondays usually. Or you can also create automation, which I like. I've been playing with this lately to figure out how to create automation. So on my calendar, every weekday at 12 o'clock a.m., move each card with the blue labeled list to do on the board website updates. Now you can change this up for my for my virtual assistant, there's things I have her do every day. And so every night at midnight, my time, it actually does move everything. I'll show you her list again. Everything that you see with blue, like even though I moved this over here today, in another 6 hours and 15 minutes, this is going to move over there.
Gotcha.
So
that makes it very nice, especially when you're using a VA. You're using a VA over in the Philippines, correct?
Yeah, right.
Right.
So it reorganizes everything over here. And then if I put due dates, it organizes that too. So yeah, it's just a really, it moves things that, you know, you can set up some other automations too. I'm just starting to figure this out, but it looks like I have 3 automations maybe.
So I use mine a little bit different. I have not got to the point where I'm doing daily tasks in there, but I have, let me make sure I'm pulling up the right, nope, wrong one. I actually have boards on 3 different email accounts, so I can have more than 10 boards. So I have about 15 different boards. So
yeah, I don't even know the limit I have on boards. And
while you can have 10.
Okay, for per account?
Per email account, right? And then for free, and then you can turn around and you can have those together. So like you can make a team without really, like you can share with another email address, and then that links those together. So I have 3 different email addresses so that I can have multiple boards, because I had a lot of things I was working on at one time. But let me find this real quick. I know I have it here.
Yeah, this is titled website updates, but we're transitioning, and maybe it would make sense to make another board for her that, okay, now I want her to help me check things. Maybe the daily things gets its own board.
All right, so let me share my screen here so that you can see I've actually built out an entire social media campaign. So share screen. I want to share Brave.
Sorry for the background noise. I don't have windows in my office at the moment, so.
Well, that's all good.
That was an airplane that just went by.
Well, there you go. All right, so I have this screen here, and as you can see, what I've done is I've actually created all of my social media posts. And so what I do is I have Sundays, what's your gift, and then I have my used one. So when I go into my used one here, as you can see, I still have the photo, but I took the photo out of the header. So it's still attached to it. But when we look at this one, I have the photo as a cover photo.
Oh.
So that way visually I know which ones I've used and haven't used. And the nice part about this is I have so many of these, and forget looking at the numbers, because I got into a numbering and then I realized it doesn't really matter because I'm going to consistently use these over and over. So this is how I use Trello at the moment, is it keeps my social media posts. So you can go out, I think it's 45 days at a time with Facebook. And so I can go in and get my Facebook and my Instagram post all set up. So I have Sundays, what's your gift, famous failures on Monday, because I want people to see that just because you started a business doesn't mean you're going to be instantly successful tomorrow. Yeah. You are going to have failures, and some of the most famous people had some horrible failures that most of us would be going, all right, I give up, I can't do it. And then did you know Tuesday, I am a huge Walt Disney fan, so every Wednesday is Walt Wednesday. And then I have Movie Wisdom Thursday, because you'd be amazed how much wisdom there are in movies if you pick them out. And then Friday Question, and then Saturday Motivation. So I have quite a bit of different, like every time I see a good post or one that I think that I can use, I take it and I add it to the section. So that's one way that I use.
And then if you've used it, I mean, eventually, if you want to, you could just recycle them back.
Correct, because I actually received this in one of the trainings that I went through recently. People are not going to remember what you posted 40, 50, 60 weeks ago. To them, it might all of a sudden ring true of, oh my goodness. Or you've had a new person that's joined following you and they're not going to know. So yes, it's just because you use it doesn't mean you can't reuse it. And this is a perfect area for a VA to have access to your Facebook account so that they can upload these images on a consistent basis. And you're not like, this is one thing I like when it's coming time for me to reload my Facebook and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to spend, 4 hours doing this, getting it all up. So anyway, that's one way that I use it. And let me go back to my home here.
Let me add about people not remembering stuff. So this is an actual experiment that an actual friend of mine did. First of all, Facebook only shows your post to a very small number of people.
True.
So unless people are looking for you, they're mostly not seeing you. Like when I say mostly, I mean 95% are not seeing you. So if you do post it again, maybe a different 5% sees it. But on top of it, so here's what this guy did. Every day, he changed his birthday in Facebook to the current day or to the next day. So that today, is June 22nd. It would pop up on everybody's feed that it was his birthday, and people would wish him happy birthday. A lot of people, right? And the next thing he would change it to June 23rd, and a lot of people would wish him happy birthday. The same people, oftentimes.
Wow!
It took 30 days of daily posting that it was his birthday before people caught on that it wasn't again his birthday.
It is amazing when you think about it, right? That a lot of people don't pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Now for birthday wishes, there's also another little trick that you can do, which is one that I do, is I only wish people birthdays twice a month. Mm. And when I do wish them a birthday, I send oh my gosh, I forgot your birthday. I have a special video that I did. If you're watching this and you learn this, I still love you all. I'm still wishing you happy birthday. But what it does is I get more engagements from people because they're like, oh my gosh, I love your video. And I send the same video so I have a video that I recorded that the December of this year, I will record a new video. Mm-hmm. And so everybody for the next year will get an entirely different video, but they'll all get the same video. So
it's kind of funny because I have slacked off on my birthday wishes this past year, sadly. But for many years, I would take them a couple minutes, it doesn't take long, to go in and post something for people's birthdays. And I would always do a photo. And so the very first year I did it, it was actually, who is the guy that played God in multiple movies?
Morgan Freeman.
Thank you, Morgan Freeman. And so there's a photo of him, and he's saying, happy birthday, you're the best. And you just read that in my voice. Nice. It's so classic. So everybody got it that year. And then the next year on my birthday, I changed it. And so what I found out, though, is after a couple of years, I happened to click on our relationship thing in Facebook. And some people, the only conversation we ever had were my birthday posts once a year.
Yeah, and that's super sad when you think about it. that there are that. I'm not the best social media person, to be honest. Mm-hmm. My wife usually has to tell me, hey, by the way, did you see the post by our son and about our granddaughter? Nope, let me go find it. So, yeah. But that's just me. I'm not I choose not to be on Facebook as much. Mm-hmm. I use it as a business platform, and I think it's a great platform for people to meet and connect and have groups. But outside of that, I'm not I don't get suckered into that. Just like I have not gotten into TikTok. I have TikTok, and I've probably watched a dozen videos, and they're all ones that my wife sent me. I haven't been able to get into it yet. So, all right. So
things I watch hers, but that's about it. Yeah.
So one of the options is Post-it notes. The other option is Trello. I do use another program called Workflowy. Let me pull that up here so that I can share that with everybody. So here's Workflowy. And I really like Workflowy in the fact that, I need my menu. I can have multiple boards, and there's no limit. You're limited in how many bullet points you get on a monthly basis. And if you share with a whole bunch of people and they sign up, i.e. if you send it to yourself in your other emails, you can earn up to 750 bullets a month. There's only been a couple of months I've used 750, and they've been months I've had lots of notes I've been taking. But let me pick the right one here. I accidentally clicked the wrong one. So this one is a list of photos that I want to take. Part of one of the classes is, they talk about taking photos of yourself in front of a green screen so you can take the green out. And you can have all these different expressions. Workflowy is working on a way that you can say that you completed something. So if I come down here, I can go completed and it's going to remove, right? So it actually lines through it. So you can visually see, just like you can in Trello. Trello is a little different. You're moving it from one space to another. If you're a list person and you want to see your list and you are gratified in seeing things marked off your list, this is a great option for you to see that. And you can share this with other people, and you can give them the option of having full access where they can actually add, delete, or you can have a modified where they can only mark things as complete or add to, or they could choose a view only. So this is Workflowy. I think it might only be available to people who have as the app itself for Apple, but you can do it online. So I actually have the app on my phone, on my computer, on my iPad, and I'm able to add and delete things based on that. So that's another option of a way to use technology to help out. Now I have one other one to use, and forgive the camera movement, but I have to adjust my camera for a moment so that you can see my whiteboard over there. Now, that's a whiteboard that is 4 foot by 6 foot that takes up an entire wall. But for me, having that visual list of things that I need to work on helps me know what I'm doing. Now, I have another one beside me that I actually use for daily tasks. So I write all my daily tasks. I forget things very easily. And so if I don't write it down and I don't have it visually where I can look at it, like I have to call a friend this evening, I have to call my daughter this evening. I need to get my meds, right? So I write all my daily stuff down on the other whiteboard. And for me, a whiteboard, when I was working full time, I always had big whiteboards. I had a 5x8 in my last office, and every Monday I would go in and I would clean the entire whiteboard. I would, of course, I originally was taking notes, and then I would take a photo of it, and then I would go through again and I would rewrite down and prioritize my week and what I had to get done that week at work. So for me, a whiteboard is a very gratifying, being able to go up there and erase it and mark it off. I did that one. It's kind of like Workflowy. It's that list of where I can actually visually see, okay, I did that. So those are a couple of options that for all of us to use.
Moving it gives me that same cross-off kind of satisfaction for sure. But with the flexibility of it, I can move them up and down lists and prioritize the order and things like that. I think I am inspired to create a new board now, though, maybe 2. So I think I'll start
get up to 10. So why not?
I know I can do a repeated task board. And then I could, really, I love the how you have that organized social media board. I think as much as I come across cool ideas, I think I'll be adding that in as well.
I think coming up with a theme for every day is an important piece. Not saying that you can only post once, but I've kind of slacked off even using Nowsite to post. Kind of slacked off that one, and I need to get back into that groove of using Nowsite to help me post on a daily basis.
Yeah, I absolutely. Well, that's what my VA does.
Right.
But creating or having your own Nowsite or your own, social media posts and stuff as well also makes sense. And she can and does create posts. Now with Nowsite, we can use Creative Pro to have custom-made social media posts for us. And because I'm going to be at Nerds Talk in person, every single one of my businesses, every page that I've got, I'm going to have custom social media posts made for.
Yes.
And storing them in Trello totally makes sense.
Now, when we go back, and let's talk about Nowsite, the Nerd Stock again, right? We do know that sometime after Nerd Stock, we are going to get a revision to the Creative Pro that's going to make it easier for us to place our orders for what we're paying for, which is going to be super nice.
Yeah, though they said that there will be a way to access like where you're at, what you have left, what you can purchase, things like that are coming out. So there's going to be more updates. I'm really excited about the comp plan.
Very true.
For those that are interested, which we are, because we are not Nowsite Nerds, but Nowsite affiliates. And so we're very interested in the comp plan being updated. There's really 3 ways that we get paid. One is potentially with a quick start bonus, which I often give up in order to give my people an advantage of saving $40, getting their free website build. However, if I, sometimes, it just depends on the situation. At the moment, I have that ability to do that, but that's a Nowsite controlled thing. So you can get paid instantly, like the next week. When you have somebody new sign up. But the other 2 are long-term and even residual in all to infinity depth. All the details are in your comp plan. I won't go further into it. Justin Balababa, our CEO, is doing daily presentations once a week. And you can learn more about that if you join on there. But meanwhile, for us, we're both affiliates. Charles actually signed up using my link. And
after watching a video and making a decision that Leanne was the person I wanted to work with. So I hope you guys choose to work with us as a team, because I think we're an even more powerful team than Leanne by herself. I
agree. Absolutely. I learned stuff. Like I said, I saw how Charles is doing this, and it's going to impact how I do things. With Nowsite, what helps Charles helps me. And so by all means, I encourage you, use Charles's affiliate link and get logged in. I do this in part just out of support, but also because we make a great team.
Right. And I really want to ask everybody who watches this on the replay is, what is the tool that you like to use to stay organized? Is it an app on your phone? Is it something on your computer? Is it just a notebook or sticky notes or a whiteboard? Or is it a combination? Let us know exactly what it is that helps you stay organized, because we really like looking at new things. And hopefully somebody throws something out there that neither one of us have heard of, and we can go, oh my goodness, this is going to change my life.
Because we're kind of nerdy.
I would agree with that. When I was growing up, I didn't call myself a nerd. Because you know what the difference between a nerd and a geek is? Grade point average. Nerds have high grade point averages. Geeks just have. I was kind of that geek, and not necessarily the nerd, but definitely I know that as I've aged, I've really focused on doing better and knowing more. So anyway, We are super happy that you guys joined us or joined us on the replay. We were a little late today. I think we're going to look at changing our time to a more steady time that works better for both of us, but we will post it and let you all know. And until then, I think I got to go left.
Okay, so now that I know we don't have mirror image.
There you go. And we're high-fiving virtually.
Virtually, because we can't in person yet.
Exactly. So it'll be the next event, not this upcoming one. So thank you all for joining. Until next time, have a great one. Bye.
Bye.